Welcome back to the Borderless Healthcare Revolution. I'm Dr. Sarah Matt, the clinical realist. So let's get right into it. I want to talk about the absolute insanity of working in healthcare right now, specifically the massive gap between what the technology industry thinks happens in a hospital and what actually happens in a hospital. So I call this the Star Trek versus Flintstones problem. So here's my Tuesday. In the morning, I can take a meeting with a VC firm, pitching me companies valued over $1 billion. They have AI agent, uses predictive analytics to identify sepsis 6 hours before a human clinician can even see it. Pitch deck is always gorgeous, and it looks like science fiction, Star Trek. Then I think about an average shift for an ED doc. 2 hours in, have to transfer a patient to another facility. Well, what do you do then? Did they use a seamless interoperability layer? Did they beam the data over with a tricorder? No. They usually spend 45 minutes staring at a beige jamming fax machine from 1998. And I'm not exaggerating. I've seen people stand there waiting for a dial tone while a sick patient waits for a bed. This is the reality nobody puts in the pitch deck. We are trying to run Star Trek software on Flintstone infrastructure, and it's breaking us. Today, we are going to talk about the tech trap. If you're a founder trying to sell to me or a hospital leader trying to buy something you need, then listen closely, because most of you are focused on the wrong things. You're obsessed with disruption, and I am declaring a moratorium on that word. I don't want disruption in the ER. Disruption in the ER means people die. I want reliability. I want boredom. So this obsession with disruption leads to a specific disease I see in Series B companies, and I call it pilotitis. So here's the symptom profile. You have a great product, you get a meeting with the chief innovation officer, and they love it. They say, let's do a pilot. You pop the champagne, you put the hospital logo on your website, and you think you have won. But you've actually entered the danger zone. Most companies die here. They die in the pilot. Why? Because you solved a problem clinically, but you create a workflow problem. So let's say that you have an app that helps nurses track vitals. Great. Well, does it require them to carry a second iPad? Because if it does, you just killed it. They don't have hands for a second iPad. Does it require Wi-Fi? Because the basement of the radiology wing is a Faraday cage, so there's no signal down there. Does it write directly into the electronic medical record? Or do I have to document it in your app and then copy and paste it into Epic later? Because if I have to double document, I am not going to use it. And I don't care how good the AI is. I don't have time. So you can't graft a Ferrari engine into a horse and buggy. You have to look at the buggy first. And this brings me to the invisible walls. When I wrote The Borderless Healthcare Revolution, people assumed borderless meant geography, and they thought I was talking about telehealth for rural patients. And yes, that's a part of it. But the most dangerous borders aren't between the states. They're inside the buildings. There is a border between the ER and the ICU. There's a border between the payer and the provider. There's a border between you and your own data. Why can you see your Uber history from 2016, but you can't see your own MRI from last Tuesday? It's because we have built these silos to protect turf, not to protect patients. I see founders trying to smash through these walls with features. You can't feature your way out of a structural problem. You have to integrate your way out. So here's the fix. And this is going to sound very unsexy, but if you want to win in 2026, don't try to be the Uber of healthcare. Be the plumber. We glamorize the robot surgeons. We glamorize the VR headsets. But you know what actually saves lives and saves margins? Things as simple as automated nurse scheduling, predictive supply chain management, boring interoperability layers that let the ambulance talk to the triage desk before they arrive. Sure, investors love the shiny object, but clinicians love reliability. So if you're a founder, stop selling me magic. I don't believe in magic. I believe in plumbing. So sell me the pipes. Show me how your data flows from A to B without me having to click 5 extra times. And if you're a hospital leader, stop buying the toys. Stop buying the Star Trek stuff until you have replaced the Flintstone stuff. Fix the fax machine. Then we can talk about AI. So that's a takeaway for this week. Innovation isn't about the gadget. It's about the implementation. If it doesn't work on a Tuesday night at 2 a.m. when the Wi Fi's down and we're short staffed, then it doesn't work. Period. I'm Dr. Sarah Matt, and this is The Clinical Realist. See you next time.